Hello and welcome to Living Your Spirit with Anthony, where we cut through the noise and get real about life, love, and purpose. This isn't about fixing you. It's about uncovering the power that's already inside you. I talk about hermetics, energy, spirit, and individual essence. Notice how many may lead you to believe you need something or something is missing. You need a certain book, you need a certain course, you need a certain degree, or to go to a certain college, or live in a certain neighborhood, or buy certain clothes, or eat at certain restaurants, or watch certain TV shows. It's as if you always need to be, do, or have something to make yourself whole. My friends, we are already whole. I focus on the wisdom, peace, and satisfaction already within. Join me as we explore the patterns shaping your relationships, your health, and your wealth, and discover practical ways to live with peace, power, and purpose. All right, sit back, relax, and let's jump right into the conversation. Hey there, how are you? Today I'm talking about living your spirit versus living your conditioning. Welcome to episode 133. This is Anthony. Living your spirit. How much are you living your spirit versus living the conditioning, living the past, living the trauma, living your childhood? And how do you know the difference? How do you understand the difference? How are you aware? What insights do you have? What wisdom do you have? Not only how do you think about it, how do you feel about it? How do you feel when you make decisions? How do you feel when you hear something, see something? How do you act? How do you react? How do you behave? How do you behave in the same situations across relationships? And what I mean by that is, how do you react when a parent accuses you maybe of not doing something? Do you react the same way when your partner or your spouse accuses you of not doing something? Do you react the same way when your boss, your manager, your supervisor makes you feel like you did not do something, you didn't deliver, you did it wrong? And just kind of look at those patterns, ask yourself that question, and kind of look at various relationships where the same things could happen and see if you act, react, and behave in the same manner with all of those situations. And in some of those cases, that's where you can say, that's more like I'm living by my conditioning. I'm living by the way I was conditioned, or I'm living the way trauma causes me to live, whether that was when I was a child, a teenager, or a young adult. Perhaps I'm still living that way now, and I may be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You may even be in your 90s and still living the same way because of something that happened to you 95 years ago, 87 years ago, 62 years ago. So when I say, are you living your spirit or are you living your conditioning? A good way to look at that is to look at how you react in certain situations and look at that across various relationships, friendships, co-workers, family, intimate or romantic relationships, your partner, your spouse, boyfriends, girlfriends, and then also with your children. If your children accuse you of not doing something, and that's not to say you really didn't do it, maybe you did, but just the fact that you are in a position where you feel accused, you feel attacked, you didn't do this thing you said you were going to do. And then think about how you feel in those situations. Maybe your child thinks that you didn't deliver. Maybe your parent thinks you didn't deliver. Maybe your boss thinks you didn't deliver. Maybe your husband, wife, spouse thinks you didn't deliver. Maybe your best friend thinks you didn't deliver. So think about that, and then I think you will start to get a clearer picture of if you're living your spirit or if you're living your conditioning. Are you taking each situation on an individual basis and saying, this is what's happening to me now. This is how I feel right now. This is what I understand about this person. This is what I understand about this situation. And then at the same time, this is what I feel. This is what I understand about how I feel. I feel wrong. I feel attacked. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel incompetent. I feel afraid. I feel small. I feel like I'm not enough. Whatever that is, start to think about those feelings across relationships. That will get you in touch with your spirit versus your conditioning. And when you start to notice how you act, react, and behave in a very similar situation across various relationships and various situations, then you can start to map it. And you can say, oh, wow, last week somebody said this and I felt this same way. I got this dryness in my throat. I got this emptiness in my chest, and I got this nauseous feeling in my stomach. And now today, that's happening again. My partner is saying I didn't do something. Last week, my boss said I didn't do something. Last month, my mom said I didn't do something, or my dad, or my child, or my best friend. And then when you start to realize, oh, it's this thing that I feel, then you can start to say, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel lonely? Why do I feel afraid? Why do I feel attacked? Why do I feel angry? And then depending on how you actually did react, did you react with anger? Did you yell? Or did you shut down? Did you turn away? Did you avoid? And all of this will come back to how you feel and how that situation feels in your body. Did your blood pressure go up? Did your heart rate go up? Did you get dry mouth? Did you get tension in your head? Did you get tightness in your chest? Did you feel nauseous in your stomach? Did you feel gas in your bowels? Did your heart start to beat differently? Did it speed up? Maybe it slowed down. So if you take something and you flip that around, and maybe someone said something to you that made you feel really loved, really comforted, really supported. Something like, hey babe, I really love it when you do this thing, whatever that thing is. Think about the love, the connection, the comfort that you feel in your heart, in your body, And then think about the contrasting difference. How does that feel versus feeling like you're being attacked? And how are those sensations different? When someone makes you feel loved, connected, supported, trusted, I would think your body relaxes, right? Your heart rate probably slows down. Your breathing slows down. Your face relaxes. You may smile, you may laugh. Your eyes soften. You have less tension in your body. It's like you're not really ready, or you're not gearing up. You're not getting ready to go into fight or flight. So you're more relaxed. So the more we notice those differences in our body, and the more we understand how we act, react, and behave in different situations, the more we understand how what we say and what we do and how we say it and do it affects other people. And then we can look at all the things that affect us negatively, and we can see how some of the things that we do and we say affect other people negatively. And that's all part of the game. That's all part of connecting, living your spirit, being human, and just kind of being there on a community level, human to human. The AI stuff is really getting ridiculous. If you go on social media, at this point, AI is so good, you don't know if you're watching a real human, a real activity, real news, a real person, no matter what they're doing, if they're talking, if they're arguing, if they're laughing, if they're fighting. You don't know if that's real. And for the way I live my life and the way I try to keep in touch with my spirit, my connections, and stay on a human level, that's very scary. That's very upsetting. I tend to steer clear of social media, except for following friends and seeing what they're doing and what activities they're involved in and what their businesses are doing. Because I want to make sure that I keep the human aspect part of my life in my life. And that means I know what I feel in my body. I know what I feel in my heart. I know what I'm thinking. I know what I'm sensing. I may be sensing that my son is 5 minutes late, and I'm sensing something's wrong. And I can feel that in my body. And I can also change that feeling and change those thoughts to something like, he was having such a great time, he just got caught up and he left late, versus something's wrong. When I go out to dinner with friends and I look at them and I look into their eyes and I smile with them and I laugh with them and I enjoy a meal with them, and I can say, hey, I know you're working on that new project. I'm free this weekend. If you want to get together, I'd be more than happy to help you with it. That's how I want to continue the rest of my life. I want to continue those types of relationships, those types of connections, and I want to continue to live my spirit with other humans that are also living their spirit. A brief jump in to say, if you have an inner feeling or sense that something is missing in your life, your relationship, or your health and wealth, or if it's just a feeling that there must be more to life, you are being called to something greater. Discover what that is and how to answer that call at anthony-johnson.com. Relationships with other humans need to be cultivated, fostered, protected, supported. COVID really did a good job. And I don't think it was COVID. It was something else going on that caused all of that to happen. But in any case, that's a different story. That's a different episode. So we won't go there. COVID really did a good job of separating us, making us stay home, making us wear masks. Separation, segregation, you name it, we had it. And then right on the back end of that, we get AI, which is less of a human experience. So my goal, my purpose, my passion is to get people back into interacting, connecting, supporting, loving, trusting other people. That's what it is. That's what it means to live your spirit. Your spirit is not waiting for the next video to come up so that your spirit can validate that video, or so that that video can validate your spirit. Your spirit is something that you feel, something that you sense, something that you live, something that you share. When your partner walks through the door, you're sharing your love, you're sharing your support, you're sharing your connection. They can feel what you feel. When you walk in the door and someone feels anger, you automatically feel that. And at the same time, you feel love, you feel support, you feel trust, you feel honesty. Children know when you're angry when they come in. Maybe they're 5 minutes late, maybe they're an hour late. They feel your frustration. And again, some of that is going to be based on what they're expecting, but that's a whole nother episode as well. Our assumptions, our expectations, what are we thinking is going to happen? What are we feeling is going to happen? And then, lo and behold, that becomes our reality because we manifested it. So there's a lot of talk about who is the cause. We are both our own individual causes. Or I should say we are all our own individual causes. But in the situation of a kid coming home late and a parent being frustrated or angry, some would argue who caused that situation. Was it the kid thinking the parent was going to be upset? Or is it the parent already upset and then causing the kid to be upset? There's a couple of ways to look at it, but in either case, all of it is energy. All of it is spirit. And whether you walk through the door of your home feeling like love, feeling like support, feeling like connection, honesty, trust, authenticity, or you walk in feeling like you're ready to blame, or you're angry, or you're frustrated, aggravated, anxious, all of those things are going to be felt by the person or the people that you come in contact with. So that's something to think about. That's why I said in one of the other episodes, if you get up on the wrong side of the bed and everything's going crazy, you get up late, your coffee maker doesn't work, your car takes a long time to get started, you run into traffic, and each thing just adds on to your aggravation and your anger and your frustration. So how does work actually feel when you walk into the office. It's not like when you walk through the door, you become a different person. I mean, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do a really good job of pretending and putting on a mask. But 9 times out of 10, we're still angry. We're still frustrated. We're still upset. And that leads to more things going wrong. So now you have 300 emails instead of 3 emails. And that's all part of our spirit. We get to choose. We get to choose the second we get out of bed and step onto the floor. Am I going to be angry, upset, frustrated because I slept late? Or am I going to be like, you know what? Life happens. The coffee is still there. The car is still there. The highway is still there. The job is still there. And I still have work today. Or the traffic is there. I'm going to be late, but I'm still going in. I'm not late every day, so it doesn't matter. I'm not stuck in traffic. Well, depending on where you are, maybe you are stuck in traffic every day. But that's why we leave earlier, right? So anyway, think about what you're thinking about and think about what you're feeling in those situations and see how you can map things back to your state of mind, to your state of consciousness. Are you aware that when you get out of bed angry because you're 20 minutes late, does that lead to more things that make you angry? If you're in an angry state of mind and you have angry energy, the universe is going to think that's what you want. They want to stay in anger. They're angry. Let's give them more things to be angry about. So that's when the coffee pot doesn't work. The car doesn't start. The light turns red. The traffic builds. Maybe it starts raining. Maybe your wipers don't work. Maybe you run out of gas. And I say this because I've experienced it. And I've learned, don't get out of bed angry. Don't cry over the spilled milk. Don't bitch about the burnt coffee. I mean, you can, but it's just going to add on. That energy is going to continue to follow you until you change it. So is that what you want your spirit to be? Or do you want to say, screw it. I'm going to have a good day today. It doesn't matter that I got up late. It doesn't matter that the coffee burned. It doesn't matter that the car didn't start for 3 or 4 or 5 tries. Life is good. I'm happy. I'm healthy. And I'm on my way. And it's not easy to just do that sometimes. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then once you start getting those really good feelings and you start seeing and experiencing really good outcomes with those good feelings, it makes you do it more. You're motivated to do it more. You wake up, you get up, and you're late, and you say, oh shit, I know to just let this go. Because that means, even though I'm late 20 minutes, if I let this go, my coffee is probably going to be done faster. My car is going to start. There's not going to be any traffic. All the lights are going to be green. And I'm actually going to get to work the same time that I would normally get to work. So when you start living your spirit, living authentically versus living in your conditioning or your trauma or your past or anger or victimhood, you start to see how your spirit, being joyful, being connected, being authentic, being trusting, being supporting, starts allowing the universe to be the same way with you. So when you feel that way, the universe delivers you that same thing. If you're supportive, the universe delivers you support. If you're loving, the universe delivers you love. And of course, if you're angry, the universe delivers you more anger. So today's episode is basically about how to get in touch with what you're feeling, what you're thinking. If you're thinking something, it's causing feelings. If you're feeling something, it's causing thoughts. So look at both of those and then just redirect them. Change them to something softer. You may not be able to go from I'm really angry to I'm really joyful. That could be a stretch. But if you say something like I'm really angry, but I'm starting to feel better, just go with that. And then slowly over time, it'll be so easy. And I speak from experience. In the beginning, I literally looked at stuff like this and listened, and I thought, this is bullshit. I am so angry right now. There is no way I'm going to be able to just switch my state of mind. And now, I don't know, 4, 5, 3, whatever, 3 years later, it's very easy because I understand. I understand not only how the universe acts and reacts, but I also understand how my body acts and reacts. And the last thing I want is to be angry or sad and catch a cold, or catch the flu, or catch COVID, or have a back pain, or have an ankle pain, or have a shoulder pain, or have the flu and back pain. All of these things are from dis-ease. And I will do another episode on dis-ease causing disease. So all of the stress, all of the anger, all of the anxiety, you can start to acknowledge it and let it drift away versus carrying it all day. Because you're that energy, and everyone around you is feeling that energy as well. And the universe is saying, well, everyone wants what they want. And it seems to me you want more things to make you angry, or more things to make you sad. It makes a lot more sense, my friends, to change that to happiness or joy or love, so that the universe sends you happiness and joy and love. Thanks for listening. Go live your spirit. All right, that's our show for today. Have a question? Click on fan mail in the show's description. Thanks for tuning in to Living Your Spirit with Anthony. If today's conversation hit home, share it with someone who needs to live from a deeper place of truth. And if you're ready to go further in your discovering of your true spirit, you can grab a 1-hour solution at anthony-johnson.com. 3 powerful assessments to show you where you're being called and where you're meant to thrive. Until next time, my friends, keep living your spirit.